Peter King is going to wrap us up. We have an actual Hall of Famer wrapping us up here, as opposed to they gave me a bust here, Peter, for my new show. I don't know if it's worthy. I don't know if it's worthy of it, but that's why I have to have you on, at least class this place up a little bit. Thanks for joining me.
Well, I certainly am worthy, Rich, but it's nice of you to remind me of that.
Please, you're the best, man. So, what do you think is the deal with San Francisco? What's going on? We had Jed York yesterday saying it's categorically not true that Jim Harbaugh is out no matter what at the end of the season. Oh, but there's got to be some smoke around if there's no fire, correct?
Oh, I think there's certainly some smoke. I mean, you don't hear out the Cleveland Browns a year ago if there's not some smoke. You don't basically get a little bit more than a year away from the end of his contract with the realization that you probably are not going to be able, at least it looks like now, you're not going to be able to get an extension done before his lame duck year. And look, I think it's sensible for all parties that, that it's not a big deal now, just because you're playing football now. So Jed York, I think rightfully so, is saying, everybody cool your jets. It's absolutely not true that he's definitely gone, or whatever it is he said on your show.
Yes.
And I buy that. And I also buy that, look, Jed York certainly doesn't want to make Jim Harbaugh the highest paid coach in football before he wins a Super Bowl. So what if he wins a Super Bowl this year? I think he wins a Super Bowl, they offer him a boatload of money, and he'd stay. So I don't think it's definite that he's gone, but I would say that if I was going to Vegas and had to bet one side or the other, I would bet that this is his last year.
Yeah, he did say that, Jed York did say that he hopes he's in the worst negotiating position ever, which would mean, obviously, the Super Bowl win. What do you make of Russell Wilson's performance on Monday night and in terms of placing himself in the MVP conversation?
Well, Rich, that game, and especially the end of that game, really convinced me that he's a different quarterback from all the other quarterbacks, in that I don't necessarily want to know his stat line. I want to know his efficiency. I want to know his, how he converts third downs. I want to know how he is in the red zone, and I want to know how he makes his team better. And, after the play where he pirouettes away from Ryan Kerrigan and lofts that floater, the kind of folly floater to Marshawn Lynch, and Lynch runs for 25 or 30 yards. I just said to myself, okay, this guy, he's different. He's just totally different. And, I don't care if he throws for 200 yards a game or whatever, and he doesn't throw for all the touchdowns or anything like that. The guy is one of the best quarterbacks in football. How many among the top? How many are there? 5, 6, 7? I don't know. But whatever the list is, Russell Wilson has to be in that list.
And they have the Dallas Cowboys coming into their house this week. One of the marquee games, obviously, for week number 6, and the Cowboys at 4-1. Running the football more than anything else. DeMarco Murray is 210 yards clear of anybody else in the rushing yards department coming into this game. And Jerry Jones this past week said that he wanted to see his touches limited. He wanted to see more touches from the backups. And both Marshall Faulk and even Michael Irvin on Sunday game day morning took that to mean that Jerry's already looking at the contract that's looming. Where do you stand on this issue, Peter?
No, he might be looking at the contract, but look, there's a couple things. Michael Irvin should know this. Jerry pays his stars, and he's going to pay DeMarco Murray. But here's the whole thing that they're looking at, Rich. Last year he carried the ball 217 times. This guy has had two significant injuries in his 3 previous seasons in the NFL. Why in the world would you want to make him carry it 400 times? I understand that everything's working great, and it is working great. But come on. I mean, if you think that DeMarco Murray can average 26 carries a game, which is what he's averaging right now, you think he can average 26 carries a game after last year basically running the ball about 15 times a game and getting hurt? I think it's Jerry and Jason Garrett. He said the same thing yesterday. I wrote it this morning that we have to, we have to look for other ways and other guys to help us do this. I mean, there's nobody in the NFL right now who's got more than 94 carries, I think, except for him, and he's got 130. So let's be realistic about what you want to do with DeMarco Murray.
What about the Patriots? Do we think that they moved on to Cincinnati and then on to what we expect them to be, or there's more bumps in the road still to come?
Well, there's going to be some more bumps in the road. They played that game like it was some combination of a Super Bowl and the seventh game of a World Series. I mean, I don't recall, Rich, Tom Brady being as intensely involved in every aspect of the game as he was in that game on Sunday night. I mean, I've just not seen him that involved in everything as he was in that game. And I think if you compare that to what you saw Monday night against Kansas City, a week ago when he was absolutely aloof and almost he appeared to be like depressed.
Yes.
In that game. I mean, he was just different. I'll tell you how I see the difference right now. I think he understands that now that Tim Wright, who's in his third offense in the last 16 months, remember, he had to learn two of them in Tampa, one his rookie year and one when Jeff Tedford came in. And then he's got to come to New England at the end of August and learn Josh McDaniels' offense. And so, look, he really had a learning curve that he had to learn in like a month. Now he's up to speed pretty much. Gronkowski, who had played only 50% of the snaps the first month, now I think played about 70 or so percent of the snaps on Sunday. He's a little more ready. Brandon LaFell is getting to know Tom Brady a little better. So as long as that happens and as long as their offensive line continues to mature, a rookie like Brian Stork in the middle, he's getting more used to this offense by the week. I think they're still going to win the division. They are going to have some rocky moments, but I think you're going to see them throw to the tight end and start to use Tim Wright the way they used to use Aaron Hernandez. He's not as good as Hernandez, but I think you're going to see him used in that vein somewhat.
Thanks, Peter. Appreciate you joining me on one of my inaugural shows. I hope to get you back on very soon.
All the best, Rich. Thank you.
You bet. That's Peter King, the mmqb.com, also on NBC.